Probably have to do, like, blame you or God or something. We'll see if it can fit. Braxton, what are you doing over there? Yeah, I know. She opened up the gate, huh? Down. Good boy. Alright. There we go. Out of curiosity, who's still here? Out of the folks from before. There we go. Blame yourself for God. Sounds good. Any other lines that we want to stick in for this team? We're just going to go through each of them one by one and just, like, pop in lines. I'm just going to give that, like, 15 seconds. As I need to print something real quick here. So while I go ahead and do so... There we go. So I would have imagined Mr. Cow would have some lines to chuck in here. Mr. Cow, where are you? We require your lines and information and things. Is this thing on? Sure is. Okay. Okie dokie dokie. Let's see. Maybe when he's incapacitated, it's like, I forgot Galaxy Stop. Nah. Because then that would play every single time. One sec. Okie dokie. Had to have a little talk here. Alright, so we'll just go ahead and assume that's fine. Oh, no. No. You know what we need to do? Let's see. There are 2 hammers. Just in case Cerebro shows up. So if he gets a crit, he'll just get real excited about those 2 hammers. Alright, that sounds about good. We'll just go ahead and save that right there, and move on to the next one then. Alright, what's next? I guarantee we're gonna end up missing one of these just because I end up like hitting the wrong button or something. Alright. I want to say these teams are already in there, but let's see. So, yeah, these guys are already in. These guys, I believe, are not. Yeah, there we go. I was putting them in earlier and then just didn't for some reason. So we'll do that. Little birdie thing right here. These characters right here. Now, again, I was asking earlier, any Super Mario RPG fans here? Like, people who know all the abilities off the top of their head, and or stuff they'd like to see referenced. Because I'll be honest, again, with the guides and all that, that one was kind of stumping me. And I didn't want to cut it out because it's kind of a big one. So, alright. Let's go ahead and set their AI. So, Rudy, your Vanguard, your Vanguard, your Vanguard, because these are just everybody's Vanguard. there will be entire teams where just everybody's Vanguard, so don't be too surprised by that. It just means that everybody's going to stick together and try to stay as a group as much as possible. Go ahead and save that party. And give them a nice desert map to fight on. We have some desert maps, right? Not so much, actually. Wait, let's say the canyon. Actually, no, we don't want to use the canyon. Ran into that experience last time. Yeah, Source Field. There we go. I think that's about as close to a desert as we're going to get. So I'll go ahead and get those saved up. There we go. Wait, right? No. No, because I need to change the name to Wild Arms. It's all quiet all of a sudden. That's what happens when I leave. When I leave for a few moments, suddenly everybody thinks everyone's just gone now. Alright. No, I don't want to go back to the title screen. Now, let's get one more team in here. So I think there's one more team in this save file. Yeah, I think I was particularly proud of the Knight of Lotus team. Yeah, it looks like there is one more team in here. I just screwed up the menus right there. It happens. It happens. Actually, no, let's just say A, because I don't know what they are. Alright, so we got FF8. Bit different from last time. Because the last time that we did this, Gunblades weren't in the game. This time, there's 2 of them. So that's pretty nice. Alright, so let's go over them real quick. Or, not Ashley. Did I put Ashley in the other team? Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Alright, so first of all, we can actually have Buccaneers as generic units now. So, despite the fact that he doesn't have his fancy coat, he's got ruffles, I guess. So, either way, it's fine. So he's got the Hyperion, so he's got a Gunblade. He's got the Dark Coat, because the Dark Coat is generally going to be the Seed's uniform for the purposes of this thing. It's a pretty solid, like, end-game evasion armor, so it's not bad. He's definitely... all of these guys are definitely on the lighter end defensively, but, you know, just like FF8, they're just like... They're meant to be glass cannons for the most part. So, Scout Leggings, just because he kind of has those baggy pants and always kind of wants to make impossible jumps. Not to mention doesn't seem to really wear any other equipment. The Reaver's Earring, which wound up working out perfectly for this, because he's actually if you didn't know, the necklace that he's always carrying around is called the Reaver. And yeah, the Hyperion gets bonus from it. I tested this. The AI can use the shoot function on the Gunblade, so that's fun. Renault here remade with a Chakram buckler this time. You know, fancy dress, because of course, title waiters for the AoE heal. Just so you know, all the characters except for Squall here were generally given abilities to try to roughly reflect what they do in a game. Since for FF8 in particular, it's hard to say what abilities anybody would have at any given point. I just tried to roughly estimate some random selection of stuff that I personally used during my last run of it. Anyway, so like Overpower here, you know, he probably would have something like that. Same thing with Parry. You know, he's shown parrying a good bit, even if they seem to have gone to the very cinematic school of sword fighting. Jolly Roger for the sake of functioning like haste, evade for serving like a protect. Glare for the sake of having a debuff, reflect because there's a reflect ability. For Noah here, also comes with reflect, comes with speed star for the sake of haste, boom trap for the sake of counting as random magic abilities. Tactician, since some of the sidearm abilities kind of look like her finishers in game. Jump 2 because she also jumps a freakish amount. And actually, all the characters in FF8 do seem to pull off some weird jumps. Counter hit, in case that ever comes in handy. Deflect, because she's got a little deflecting shield. And sidearms, of course. And yeah, I already explained the equipment there. Zell, with his 2 punchy weapons. Thunder Fists, because, you know, he's the fist guy. He likes to fist real good. Cloud Ring, again for the levitating, because I remember that being one of the abilities. Reflect, Double Strike, Vigorous. Like he's got some, but he's not much of a caster. For Quistis here, let's see, Arc Smash for one of her casting abilities. Fire Walk, just because she's the one that ends up going to that fire cave. Seemed like a pretty fitting reference there. Magically wise, not a whole lot going on aside from Reflect, because again, everybody can have Reflect, so why not? Give some a little bit more to work with. For Irvine, he can come in as a ranger, so he actually does come in with a bunch of casting abilities. And can do instills, can do first aid, all that kind of thing. Did I remember to actually give him his magic boots? Weird. Hang on. Okay, fire and ice. Oh yeah, I think that was there as a reference to the fact that he's always trying to get busy. Whatever, let's see what we can give him for fire and ice. Alright, weaken and breach, sure. Flare, sure. Spark Sphere, why not? He probably won't be using these very much because his casting abilities are kind of crappy. But you never know. You never know. The chance might come. And then Frostbite, it's a reset TP in an area. We'll count that as slow. So Selfie here coming in with a hammer because they don't really have nunchucks, but they've got Electrify here. Same kind of equipment as before to kind of serve as that uniform. Comes in with hammer abilities for some casting abilities and usual Reflect and Double Strike and Vigorous and all that kind of business. Seifer comes in with a pretty standard Swordmaster set. He's missing preempts because he's not very good at preempting anything. Arts of War for the sake of his debuffs and support stuff, though apparently he never learned them. What happened with this save? I know I did this stuff already. I think I actually might have just quit out of the game. No. This okay. I remember what happened now. Okay, so I was working on these guys a while ago. Like, as you can see there, I was working on it more than a month ago. And there was a moment where I had redone this entire team, and then I was trying to, I think I was redoing the Live a Live team, and I was trying to use one of the AI only classes, except apparently I clicked on the wrong one, and I clicked on one of the ones that crashes the game. And so that went amazingly, and had no problems whatsoever, and totally didn't delete like 3 hours of messing with stuff. I don't know what you're talking about. Alright, so Seifer's gonna be a pretty decent caster, and then like India's coming in as the main caster for the team, because of course, coming in with that whole ice motif. You learned your stuff, right? Yes, okay. So she actually knows her stuff. And okay. I left him with the Kumbira, by the way. This is the one that I was using to emulate the Gunblade last time, and funnily enough, actually it looks really similar these days. So yeah, it looks more like a straight-edged sword like the one that he uses. Shockwave for the sake of looking like the shot from it. And yeah, should be alright. Alright there. So there we go. Seems about right, I figure. Let's have these two up in front, sure. Actually, no, let's have these two on the sides. Irvine's kind of hiding off back here with Selfie. They're probably making out or something. Dia and Seifer are probably over here. Probably also making out or something. I feel like pretty much half the characters in FFA just spend all their downtime making out or something. Alright, let's go ahead and save that. Sorry, just looking and listening real quick. Alright, so we're gonna be FF8. Now it feels like we need a beach for these guys. I think that beach landing is probably what everybody remembers most about this game. Let's be honest. Nobody remembers what the actual plot consisted of. There was a moon at some point, and then there was some sweet army stuff in the very first disc. Like, as long as it kept that army thing going, everything was pretty awesome, and then after that it kind of just went completely haywire. Alright, so that's that first team done. Or that first save done. So let's go to the second one from the bottom. No game, I have no idea which team it is. Why would you ask me to save right there? Alright, so these were... Skies of Arcadia, right. Right. Hold on. Yeah, okay. Alright, that's fine. That's fine. So, let's go over these guys real quick. So, Skies of Arcadia is not one that I was super familiar with. It's one of these ones that I'd heard a hell of a lot of praise for, but never actually got a chance to try myself. So this was all based off of guides and things like that. So Vice here seemed to be like a sky pirate kind of situation. So we went ahead for gave him a saber, a whisker coat, cloud shoes, and the kraken ring. Seemed pretty fitting for that kind of stuff. And one-handed swords. Seemed like a lot of their abilities were actually machinery based. So the characters themselves were given some abilities to try and emulate that a little bit in some rare instances, but they themselves aren't necessarily amazing fighters. So I wouldn't necessarily expect these guys to get too far, but we'll see what happens. So for Ica here, instead of a giant boomerang, what we have is the Valkenheim. So a big old throwing axe. Thundercoat, Worm Sleeve, Seal of Finesse to try to make her a little bit better with it. Sidearm skills, and that's about that. For Fina here, she got a Spirit Book, so she just really hates fairies for some reason. Light coat, trousers, and a void ring to be a little bit faster. And is a generalized caster of very many things. So I tried to match up those abilities as best I could. Then we got Drachma. Wait, you are the same team, right? Right? Right. I think so. What's here? Yeah, here you go. There you go. You can just push on it, it's fine. There you go. Okay. That's fine. Comes over, it's like, it's Saturday, I need my iPad. Has me turn the thing on. Like, yeah, okay, you can just hang on to it. You are now my portable TV. Alright. So for these other three here. So Gilder here seemed to be dual pistols and kind of going for a whole pirate-looking thing. So I went for, well, dual pistols and as much damage as possible. They don't really weigh too much themselves. Could we avoid stepping on these wires, please? No, we apparently decided to... Okay. You know what? One moment, please. One moment. Alright, and back. So yeah, this guy was supposed to be like a whole pirate gunfighter kind of guy with his dual pistols. So having two of them for flavor doesn't really hurt him or anything. He just kind of has them. It's 4 extra weight. It's not the end of the world. Alright, so he's going to be a little bit slower. Skill-wise, he basically just has weapon skills. Surprisingly, despite the simplicity of this team, they actually held up pretty well when I put them through the highway test, the reason way test. Let's go move this a little bit because the lighting's being all weird. Alright. It's all dark over here, but it's all light over here. What's that about? Alright. We'll just do something like this. Shouldn't need that setup anymore come Monday. Anyhow, Enrique here seemed like a pretty standard fencer type of guy. So I went for his fancy uniform. I went for a fancy necklace and the Fragarach. I don't know if it's a Fragrock or Fragarash or Fragrach. Here, if you're from the south, I guess. Had some arts of war, some casting abilities, all that kind of thing. Why can you not use that? It says he can't use it. I think it's because he needs TP. That's why it's saying he can't use it. And then, yeah, Ash is a completely different situation, so we'll just ignore that. So there we go. That's those three. Don't suppose there's anybody here that's a Skies of Arcadia person. Bear in mind that if I did get some of these wrong, I can redo this stuff. Like if you're looking back at this after the fact, at like the YouTube version or whatever, it's still probably gonna be like another day or two until the actual tournament thing starts. So do let me know if I'm missing something obvious. So there we go. We'll just go ahead and lock that one in then, since nobody's saying anything because it's a Saturday and nobody shows up to these. Okay, so. Boom. Just go Skies Arcadia. Because there won't be enough for all of it, I know that much. Alright, we need a very... Actually, there's one map. There's one map for this, and that's Twixt Heaven and Earth. Of course it has to be that one. Alright, next up. Next up. Next up we got Vandal Hearts. So this one, I hope I did right. Because it's funny, because this mod actually does reference Vandal Hearts, believe it or not. And it's one of the ones that kind of gets overlooked a good bit, and I actually completely forgot about too up until doing this. So, does anybody here by any chance remember the archers from Vandal Hearts? Like, specifically what made them unique compared to other strategy games. He said to the silence as nobody replied. Alright. Funnily enough, there seem to be a... Wait, right? Right. Why do only some of them have... I don't know. We'll have to mess with their AI. You're gonna be melee. You're gonna be Vanguard. Actually, everyone's just gonna be Vanguard, screw it. Seems like a pretty solid choice. Because they mostly typically tended to function in that fashion anyway. Alright, now, moment of truth. Did I get the archers right? Yes. So the funny part is, there's the railbows. They actually function very similarly to the ones in Vandal Hearts, and that they can only fire in a straight line, and they'll go only around some obstacles. You can't fire upwards with them in this because, you know, mechanical reasons. But yeah, I just thought it was kind of funny how he made that reference there. Because yeah, that's one of those weird things when going through Vandal. Is that, yeah, you end up looking at all the archers, and instead of like we'll just use the letter opener as an example. It's like, instead of having a bow, since they're just holding the bow, they have like, let's use a popsicle stick. There we go. They've got like a popsicle stick sitting on a thing, and then they just like, we'll go ahead and use another popsicle stick, and then they'll just like take an arrow, just like pull it back and just fire it from this. Is weirdly enough putting a stock on a manual crossbow for some reason. It's one of those weird mechanical things. And funnily enough, I don't remember anything about Vandal Hearts 2, so I haven't really made it yet. That's one of the other ones on the list. Okay, let's see if I can pull it up here real quick. Get over here, Reddit. Because there were only a few that were missing. One of them was Super Mario RPG, which is, again, it's technically made, it's just not finished. Come on. Come on, Internet. Yeah, I'm probably gonna have to wrap up in like 10 minutes here anyway. Just finish making the rest of them, because we spent the entire time talking about the weirdness of this game. There it is. Okay. So, what do we got here? So, Shining Force 1 and 2 haven't gotten done yet. Vandal Hearts is done. FF4 I think is done, but I just never marked it complete. Suikoden 2 I haven't done yet because I didn't know which ones to go with. Originally the request was just for the main 6, so we might just do that one. But then we'll see, because it's hard to say which abilities to give them, just because there's so many different abilities in that one. Katya, again, I'm completely unfamiliar with, so that one I haven't made yet. Valkyrie Profile, similar story. I've watched them, but I haven't actually played them to know the abilities themselves. And then Chrono Cross, I only barely touched on that one a really long time ago. So those are the only ones that haven't been made yet. But there's if we don't get to those, there's more than enough left in there to make it all work. Alright, so we have their AI set. In fact, let's go ahead and... no. I'm okay with having them all as Vanguard. That's a sweet popper you got there, kiddo. I'm okay with having them all as Vanguard, to be honest. Wait, I already had their name right. Yeah. Let's cancel. I feel like Source Field is pretty appropriate for this. Maybe Source Field or Palace of the Dead. Or the plane. I think we'll just go for the plane. Sounds good to me. Oh yeah, I never actually went over their builds, did I? Okay, so these guys, they don't have any skills on them aside from the ones that need it. So Ash has some healing, some of them have counter hits where it was appropriate. And then they have their related magic things. Equipment-wise, you know, sword, shield, everything else for you. For some reason, I forgot to give her the rest of her equipment. I think it was just because I was trying to make her as weak as she is in-game. No, I definitely just missed some. Well, good job, Chuckles. That one needs to be redone. Okay. Yes. Alright, new challenge party then. Let's try that again. Try it again real good. Oh, I need my vest? Okay, I'm told I need my vest. It's apparently gonna get real cold in here. I'm just gonna say Vandal. There we go. Truth be told, I have zero idea why they actually called it Vandal Hearts. Like, from a purely descriptive sense, it never really made sense. I feel like there's some characters we're missing, but that's fine. It's perfectly fine. We don't need absolutely everybody for every team. By the way, if you're wondering about the weapon choices, I try to give them the ones that visually match the best. Like, Clint is more of like a tower shield and stabby sword kind of guy, whereas Grog's got that big old wide thing. So, try to match that as much as possible. Alright, these guys are all just stabs and robes, so we'll just go ahead and give her a light coat, I think. Give her the, let's go ahead and say armored leggings, and probably a mind ring or something. Yeah, Seal of Wisdom. Sure. Give you the Life Giver, give you, say, light coat and more leggings. Give you the Architros trousers, why not? And what else? No, we'll give you a luck ring. Not everybody has a luck ring. One thing I do remember though is that the casters in this game were overpowered as hell, so this guy's getting everything for that. There we go. This, by the way, has a secondary ability to use Nullify Strike. They don't know how to use it, so no worries there. No worries whatsoever. In fact, you know, we'll just leave them all as melee. Now, something I should mention, because I wasn't, like, I only vaguely touched on this earlier, but whenever you see the characters are just super basic or anything like that, it doesn't necessarily mean that their team's going to do badly. Quite frankly, in a lot of cases, the more basic teams have even done a lot better than I would have expected. Probably the best example of this was going back to I think they might even be right here, right? By the way, there's that cache I couldn't remove earlier. Don't I have these guys in here? Fantasy Star? Don't know. Alright, whatever. We'll get back to that tangent, but specifically OB64 had one of the better teams. It seemed like, just from initial testing, it seemed like they were one of the stronger teams. So I tried to nerf them a little bit. But yeah, like, just not even because they were anything fancy. Like, the weirdest part was Raid, I think it was. Like, he was running like full, like, middle of the road gear, nothing super fancy about the guy or anything. But then for some reason, for some unknown reason, like, he just kept using double strike over and over, and all this guy would do would just be to bum rush everybody and just take 25% over and over and over, and just by sheer determination just overwhelm eventually. It was there was no reason for him to do so well, but he was just really lucky. Just kept doing that over and over. Like, dang, how are you doing this? How are you doing that, man? Reasons was more or less his answer, which isn't really much of an answer, but whatever. Alright, now, as far as success stories go, I'd have to say that probably one of the stronger, or not one of the stronger, but one of the teams that probably made the trip the best would have been these guys. So Phantasy Star 4. Now, kind of going over them real quick. So equipment-wise, we got Chaz here with a laser sword. Gotta have the laser sword. Dynamo plate because it kind of looks like his armor. World True Roots for the sake of his that stun move. Skill-wise, like, he basically got stuff like this. He's doing Augment Earth despite the fact that he doesn't really do a whole lot of Earth stuff. Overpower and all that kind of thing. Mighty Strike, as he should. Magic-wise, right here. So heal because he's got it. Judgment for his big laser moves. Heavenly Judge for his crosscut thing. Different versions of heal for all that kind of stuff. He's got teleport. He's got his usual buffs. Like, basically every... I'm just going to go over these real quickly because my time's almost done here. All of these characters, almost all of the abilities that they can use in the game carried over to this. So it just wound up weirdly perfect. Now, actual equipment-wise, went Laser Sword with Chaz, went for the Valkenheim for Alice, went for Slappy Hand and a shield for Han, because personally I think double shields are the best thing for him. And the guitar here just gives him really low attack, so he probably shouldn't decide to use it, but it also gives him a pretty reasonable evasion bonus. Everyone that I've talked to seemed to also prefer double shields on him, so it seemed pretty close. Roan here with his super staff here, going for all of his fancy intelligence boosting stuff. Grizz with a big old heavy battle axe. You got Rika here with the double talons, because it's supposed to be like the silver talons. Demi with a rifle and a crown, because, you know, crowns. Raja here with a staff, as you do. Kira also with sidearms, but she's going for a meteor bola, because I figure by that point they're in space, so why not? Ren with a power sniper type of situation, and Duran is in a completely different game, so there we go. So I thought that they wound up functioning very well in that respect. Just gonna have them all sit on Vanguard, because that's basically exactly how that game works. Everybody just sits in a line and smacks each other. So there we are. So you on healer. Everybody else is just gonna be right on the front lines. So let me say Phantasy Star 4. And we need a place that looks like space, which will be the Pirate's Graveyard. So yeah, if, again, just reiterating this, if there's any particular teams or units that you feel have some really good quotes to shove in there that won't get too annoying to see over and over, because again, this will be a double elimination tournament, so there will be a lot of fights that, you know, a lot of teams that may get multiple fights, so bear that in mind. We're not going to try and cover every single little thing, but, you know, going to cover as much as possible. Alright. Next up, we got we got Vale's request from earlier, which was, what was it? Seiken Daisetsu 3, aka Secret Mana 2. There we go. Let's get all of them dealies in here. Try to recreate that that one promo image. Alright. What do we got gear here? Gear-wise here, rather. So yeah, Duran going for a sword, ogre set, and a evasive shield, as well as a seal of evasion, because he's the potentially highest evasion character in the game. Going for sword skills, HP infusion, faded circle, all of his instill abilities. I tried to copy as many of their class level things as possible. Doesn't learn any spells for that. The instills take that particular job. We've got Kevin here using Heaven's Tear as his kind of super move that he gets to use a little bit. Momentum for a little bit of healing. He probably will just use that for defense. Double attack because he gets that double attack. Overpower, bash, counter hit because all of those are stuff he does. Augment darkness because he's going to be doing a good bit of that. And last resort and berserk to boost himself a little bit. Sorcerers here tried to. I should point out with this particular team, I tried to get a mix of every one of their top classes as much as I could. So there we go, these kinds of skills right here. So try to get a maximum of every element and all that kind of thing. As well as try to kit her similarly. Reese's over here. So Mighty Strike off that spear, kind of her basic ability. Secondary abilities are off of her other spells and other things over here. Draconology, because she's a Dragoon in one of them. Gnome, because it looks very similar to, Jormungand? Or whatever the hell that really misspelled one was. And then, yeah, some buffs to try to copy her other abilities there. Hawk coming in with 2 Mordred songs. He went only for the dark one, for the most part anyway. Really evasive, really high luck, all that kinds of thing. In fact, why don't I give him a seal of luck, seal of fortune? There we go. Lowers his evasion, but it's already high enough, so I feel like that's pretty solid right there. So they're all gonna, let's see. You're going to go melee. These guys do use a little bit more tactics, so we're going to go make that accordingly. There we go. And they've got some of the better, some of the stronger equipment, but some of the fewer skills, so we'll see how that goes. Right, battlefield, we need something with a lot of forestry, so this postern gate will do just fine. So go ahead and save that one right there. Alright, what else do we got? Yeah, technically a few minutes overtime here. Alright, this one's going to be March of the Black Queen. So originally, for March of the Black Queen, I was actually going to have the female protagonist, but as several folks have pointed out to me, that wouldn't necessarily be like the canon team. So we got Destin, and Canopa's going to be kind of off to the side, because he wasn't necessarily one of the bigger parts of March of the Black Queen. So we got Destin and Lands over here at the very start. Tristan over here as well. Debonair, because he's kind of awesome. We'll have him in there. Debo the Nair. We got Fogel in here, the dragon lizard guy. We got Norn, who will be back here as a cleric. We've got Warren. Yeah, he kind of belongs in. You know what? In fact, no, we'll leave Debonair up there. Warren in the second line. We've got Gilbald. We've got Eustace coming over here. We've got the Speedrun Griffin. As we gotta. And then we got Ash, because why not? In fact, we'll stick an Opus back here. Why not? But yeah, if you didn't know, in March of the Black Queen, Like, in the speedrunner, just anytime you want to go fast, you just attach a Griffin to a party, and they're like 20 times faster. It's great. This is just the way to go. Alright. Now, weirdly enough, Tristan, despite being, you know, the friggin' princely king dude, is kind of a beeflord in that one. Just going over their equipment real quick, because they don't really have well, they have some small skills, but they don't have that many skills. So, Destin coming here with the Brynhilder and the War Mace that he likes to hold in his left hand there. Thanatos and Shadow Tramplers, he's meant to look like the dark version that a lot of folks really liked. We got Knopus over here with the Euros. I tried to give them all items that they either were known for or would have found over the course of a run. So the Lombardia for lands with a pretty standard knight set. Most of them, they've got a standard set aside from their weapon and or one item, because they're allowed to carry one different item. So we got the Kumbira for Tristan, just because it looks all nice and fancy like. And he's supposed to be all saintly and everything, so we got a heavenly weapon. Same thing for Debonair. They're... Actually, no. I used the Kumbira because it looked... Okay, it looked similar to the weapon that they use, not to mention it has Shockwave, because both of them have that Shockwave move they use from the back row. That's what it was. Fulgull coming in with the Bellamong, the Wormscale, and the Wormscale Greaves. Perfect timing for this, by the way, because I thought the Balmung already had the Dragon Slayer set bonus, so it just got it in 93. So yeah, it's there now. I don't know why that wasn't there in base game. That really should have been. Norn coming in as a pretty standard cleric. Warren coming in, you know, as a pretty standard mage, except he's really good at it. Gilbald coming in as a pretty standard beast tamer. Yusha, same for an angel knight, though she's got a bit better support abilities. In fact, rather than the life giver, I meant to give her... Where is it? I think it was Lipples? Which one was it that had, yeah, the Lazarus. There we go. That's what she should have. And the speedrun Griffin's just there for being fast, and then Ash, you know, he's just got his red armor. That's about the only difference. So there we go. There we go. That'll get them saved right there. Alright, so everybody else, yeah, you're just fine going for melee. So let's go ahead and get that one saved. So I'd say that's probably also another one that's probably a pretty good contender as far as likeliness to win. I'm gonna put them in Phydock, because they seem like the sorts that would definitely be going after that castle. Alright, go ahead and save it. I believe there's some, like, yeah, OB64 here that already exist. So I don't think I'll be changing this one very much. Alright, they're a little bit out of order in one moment. Alright. So, in no particular order, we got Leah here with her Thunder setup. Magic-wise, we got Shocklance and Thunderbird. As odds are that's what she'd have. We've got Magnus here with the Erasean, because it looks kind of... the Erasean and Titania look pretty similar to his two ultimate weapons there. Gauntlets, for the sake of that gauntlet he wears on the left. Seal of Might, just because he's kind of a strong guy. Nothing else equipment-wise. I gave a bunch of different characters abilities that allowed them to use summons, so similar to the Pendras. But yeah. So Dio here with Kumbira, because again, he's another one that has a shockwave ability in the back row with the right weapons. Oh, hang on. What are you... Puppy over here trying to grab some food that's not his. Vicar Mail, because it looks similar to his stuff. We got Ankaself, the self-sacrificing over here. His spear, tower shield, and general beefiness. So he's just resistant to basically everything. Got Meridia with her ice setup. Again, similar, just Avalanche 2 and 3. That's what she would know. We got Troy here as a pretty basic hoplite. We got Europia coming in as a paladin. Again, similar, just spear and shield setup. Small shield and spear, as they like to wear. Actually, this should be male then. Well, too late now. Asnabel coming in with the Ogre helm and a heavy axe, as he does. I was kind of going back and forth on whether to give him the fire axe or not, but this one just seemed a bit more fitting. So, didn't end up doing that. Hugo coming in here just to let everybody know the wisdom of having bridges everywhere. Yumo, who's only here to use Frost Breath and just try to be lucky the entire time. And then Raid, the guy who just kind of has this basic, relatively basic equipment. And he's just there swinging away the entire time, as well as Baldwin coming in with what used to be the old, Berserk set. So there we go. Baldwin's going in like a full, almost vanilla Terra Knight type setup. Raid augments fire, he parries, he overpowers, he double swings and vigorous attacks real good. It's just what he does. Yeah, Yumo just counterattacks and deflects, and all that kind of business. And Hugo is just here as a tactician. Everybody else doesn't really have skills except for Europia has some parry and overpower and all that kind of thing. Troy's got Augment Earth and all that. We've got, as you can see, everybody's just there to reference their stuff. So, got what we've got. So, that looks about good. Some of the leader characters were given Rampart Aura just because, A, it kind of looks like their whole big phalanx formation thing. Not to mention, it kind of makes sense because they always seem to stop everybody right in front of them so that the two groups can engage. So, thought that was all well and good. Now, yeah, and then they had to be on the Venessan Way. And as we have over here, wherever he is, Hugo's here to just to let you know that you need to use bridges to win. So there we go. That one's already done. Who else? So we'll just do one more, and then I really gotta get going. It seems like everybody's off to go do whatever they're doing anyway. Just finish these all off on my lonesome. Alright, I forget what game these guys are even from. Let's see. I think Grandia 2? Might be Grandia 2. I think so. Something like that. In fact, screw it. Let's just go over everybody that's here. So I know these ones... wait. Now I'm just all kinds of confused. Maybe these guys were... No, these were E's. So yeah, we got E's over here. Trying to get as many of them in here as possible. I was specifically told to add this guy in here, so that they had one extra guy, and also because apparently the one game I was asked to do is the one game that this guy wasn't in, and apparently people were kind of mad about that, so we'll just go ahead and get that corrected. So apparently Dogi the Earthshaker was what he was called, which sounded pretty awesome. And then we've got one of the Final Fantasies over here, with Terra, Locke, Edgar, and all that kind of business. I think Locke was probably one of my favorite ones to do, because it just trying to come up with references to all of those weird tools. It was fun. It was fun. Alright. We've got Sabin here with his whole stuff. Shadow, with his throwing axes and whatever. And all of that business. Actually, Setzer was a fun one to do as well. He's basically, he's a shaman with all this kind of stuff. I considered making him like a complete summon build and all that kind of thing, but the shaman ended up working much better, and the way that I was looking at his skills, since it's basically just like, he's just randomly throwing out dice and seeing what happens, I figured if we do something like this, where he's got the ability to do some really, really powerful hits, but it takes him a really long time to charge up, it's probably similar to somebody chucking dice and eventually getting a good roll. And then Mog here is a bard. There we go. And then we've got the Dark Souls team, as was requested, as well. Gwyn, Artorias, Ordenstein, Smoo, Go, the Capra, the Gaping, and had to have Giant Dad in there. As well as Gwendolyn, the Sanctuary, Iron, and all that. Then was asked for the RuneScape team, which was these guys, so Hazelmere, who kind of got vaporized. It's like, it was specifically this one part of RuneScape. where it was just like an A-team that's assembled from many of the NPCs that you've known for a good part of the game. I'm like, hey, look, watch as they all die in 3 seconds. And, oh wait, then that boss that killed him off? Yeah, we're gonna kill him off just randomly next mission. Yeah, how'd you like that plot development? Yeah, we tried real hard. when your ratings are dropping, kill everybody, I guess. Alright. So, yeah, try to get those as related to stuff as possible. I'll go into more of the nitty-gritty between each of these different teams once we actually start the thing proper next time. I was hoping there'd be a bit more discussion this time, but yeah, it's about to be expected on a Saturday. And then like the one extra ringer here is the player character who comes in. I just went in for the name that they usually go for, or that they occasionally give you rather. You get a randomized name in game, like you have your username, but then there's one point in the game where you end up joining like what are basically Vikings, and they give you a randomized name based off some random job or whatever.